morning. Today I am very excited to share that I have purchased a set of 5 brand new, very old marching bass drums. Like, they're new to me, but old to the world. And today I'm going to be spending a good amount of time tuning these drums to make them sound great, so prepare yourselves for the ultimate bass drum tuning tutorial. These drums were purchased by a local high school 16 years ago in 2005. So happy sweet 16 to all of you. Now the heads that are on these bass drums, they are the Evans Mx2 heads, and from what I'm told they were changed about 3 years ago, but they haven't had very much use, so I'm just gonna leave these heads on for now. I think I could get at least a few more months with them, and then I'll do a head change eventually. Compose a comment below if you would like to see me change the heads and do some general maintenance on these drums. That would be a whole separate video. Today we're just talking about tuning. I also made a full video on how to tune tenor drums. If you'd like to check that out, the link is down below. So just some general guidelines for tuning any kind of drum is if you're cranking the crap out of it, which I had to do with some of the top bass drums, you want to go in a star pattern. Like you'll start with one lug and then go directly across from it and tune that lug up. And then go to this lug 90 degrees from that, and then the one across from that, and just do that, like a star. You get it? It's math. So the first thing I did before cranking any heads up is I did what is called clearing the heads, which basically means getting each of the lugs in tune with themselves, alright? Because having old heads on there, some of them go out of tune faster. Now sometimes it can be kind of hard to hear the pitch of the individual lug, so a trick I learned is, so let's pretend this is a bass drum. If you put your finger, like just press it gently against the middle of the head, then that'll take out a lot of the overtones. So you can do that and just kind of tap around where each lug is, and then you'll be able to hear it. So something to note about these particular bass drums is the sizes are very small, okay? It's for small high school children. The size in inches is 16, 18, 20, 22, and 24. Now, a 24-inch bottom bass drum, if you're watching a DCI group, the 24-inch drum is probably their bass 3, okay? So having a 24-inch bottom bass drum, that presents a few challenges. Just like any other drum, there is a certain range that the drum can be in, like range of notes. So a 24-inch drum, it can only go so low before it starts to sound, well, crappy. So a big old 32-inch bass drum, you can tune that thing really low and it'll sound perfectly great. But if you try to tune the 24 to that same note, it won't sound like anything. It'll probably just have a dead sounding head. So I started by tuning bass 5 to see what the lowest possible note it could be while still sounding okay. So this is where I ended up at. So in my excitement of getting these new drums, I honestly forgot to order bass drum mallets. Like, I only have this one pair of bass drum mallets. These are the MB1 Vic Firth mallets. Every stick company will have 5 sizes of bass drum mallets, and it is common to just go like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are the sizes that are usually used. Although when I teach indoor, I usually do 0, 0, 1, 2, 3 to get more attack. Because the smaller the mallets are, the more attack and less tone you're gonna get. So using these on bass 5 is probably not very good, but that's all I have right now. So yeah, I got more mallets coming on the way. Don't worry, I just ordered some. So I like the tone I got out of that note from bass 5, but it sounds kind of slappy because of the mallets I'm using. But I can fix that with some
video and audio effects, and we'll get to that later.
So when you're tuning marching bass drums, there is a specific set of intervals you need to find. That is between one drum to the other. It's very specific in the tuning sequence. So this is the tricky part because I don't have perfect pitch and my relative pitch kind of sucks. So I download this little like free app, a little piano keyboard, and what I do is I find whatever note I tune bass 5 to, which that is that note, E. So once you find your note for bass 5, then you want to tune bass 4 a perfect 5th above that, which is a B. Then you'll tune your bass 3 a perfect 4th above bass 4, so that would be an E. So the notes we got so far are E, B, and E again. Anyone who has guitar knowledge, you'll know that this is also known as a power chord, right? Root 5th octave. It sounds beefy and girthy, and no matter how many bass drums you're marching, whether it's 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever, you want to tune the bottom 3 to those intervals, okay? That's how you get the beefiness of the unison hits. Now, tuning the top drums, that's where some people might differ from what intervals they like. Personally, I like to tune bass 2 a major third above bass 3, which in this case, bass 3 was the E. So then bass 2 will be a G sharp. And then I will tune bass 1 a minor third above bass 2, so that would be a B. So bass 3, 2, 1, that makes a major triad. So E, G sharp, B. Beautiful. So between all 5 bass drums, you'll basically have a power chord at the bottom and then a major triad on the top. I think that sounds the best personally. So just like anything drumming related, this is going to take some time and practice for you to get those drums to those exact notes that you want. The key doesn't matter at all, honestly. That's just what I tuned the bass 5 to, so I just went off of that. But let's say if we're playing a piece in the key of F or E flat, it literally doesn't matter that your bass drums are tuned in E. Like, you're not going to hear it at all. The same thing goes with the tenors or the snare drum. Like, yes, they're melodic percussion instruments technically, but the tone of the drums, they don't resonate so much that it conflicts with the sound of the horn line or the melodic percussion. That's just kind of the way marching percussion is designed. It's a lot of attack and dense notes, so the pitch won't carry through the ensemble, all right? At least I've never heard any judge ever call that out, okay? That would be really weird if somebody did. So tune them to whatever key you want. It doesn't matter. The most important thing is the intervals, right? Root 5th octave in the bottom 3. So the last thing I'm going to share with you guys is a couple of examples of the full bass drum line. Well, edited because I'm playing all 5 of them. So you're gonna watch the same exercise 3 different times. In the first rep, that was before I touched the drums at all. I played this on heads that were 3 years old and hadn't been tuned whatsoever. So we'll see how that sounds. The second rep is gonna be after I tuned them and made this whole video. It'll be those exact intervals and pitches that I described. And then the third rep is gonna be, as I said before, I like to add some audio effects onto it. So in Final Cut Pro, you have this bass enhancer effect. I usually put that onto bass 5 and make it 100%, on bass 4, 75%, bass 3, 50%, bass 2, 25%, and I don't add it to bass 1. So this effect, obviously it enhances the bass as it says, but also it takes out a lot of the attack and focuses more on the tone. So that works for me making videos in this very small room. I think it helps amplify exactly how I want to hear the bass drums. But you can be the judge of that. So grab some good headphones and analyze these examples. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hopefully it was informative. Compose a comment below and let me know what you thought of those 3 examples. Hopefully you were listening with good enough headphones that you could hear the unison sound on the tuned drums and how beefy it sounded compared to when they weren't tuned and were all jacked up intervals. For me, I can honestly tell how good a group is gonna be before they even play for more than like 5 seconds. If I can hear that their bass drums are tuned super clear and with, you know, root 5th octave, I know that the person teaching them, you know, spends good time on the details, because that is something that makes them sound better. And it literally has nothing to do with the playing. Even if your drum line completely stinks, tuning the drums will make you sound better than you actually are. I promise. Please tune your drums. please. And also, don't forget to click that subscribe button, ring that Liberty Bell, and click that like button. And also consider buying a custom t-shirt, such as this one. I will leave that link in the description. And have a good morning.